and welcome to Love Island The Morning After, the only official Love Island podcast.
This All-Star season keeps delivering, and we're going to kick off this weekend in style this morning.
So grab a cuppa or keep powering on that treadmill. However you're consuming this podcast, we promise that it will be packed full of Love Island gossip with myself, Amy Hart, Indiyah Polack. It's our final day with the wonderful Kae Kurd. And joining us this morning, we have our notorious slow burner. It's Nas Majeed.
I made it, baby. Come on.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Yeah.
Lovely to have you, man.
Thank you, bro. I'm excited to be here. Excited to fill you in on all the behind-the-scenes gossip. You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
You're promising high.
I'm promising high. All I was doing, I was just kicking back, consuming, observing.
Oh, right.
So I got a lot
I was
stored
gonna
up in
say.
the
Not a
brain.
burner on this podcast.
No.
Is it?
Nah. All systems go.
It's always sad when you come home from holiday, isn't it?
I'm torn between having a holiday. So you're trying to mug me up. All right, cool. Yeah, I feel like I got holiday blues.
Yeah.
if I'm being honest. I was enjoying my time in sunny South Africa
With your mates.
with your
Having a
mates,
lovely time.
kicking back, beautiful girls. You know
Love
the drill.
that. All right, well, with that being said, how would you describe the villa in 3 words?
I've not said anything.
All inclusive holiday.
There we go.
Listen, a moment of self-reflection from me. I'll be the first to admit I was just chilling there.
Did you have a wristband and everything, yeah?
Yeah. I had a silver membership.
Yeah,
Silver
I love
membership.
No
it.
gold.
Not golds.
No.
Not golds.
Yeah, to be fair, gold, you'll
unfortunately.
probably still be in there.
Was it different going in a second time round?
Very different. I think the first time around, obviously, you don't know who's going to be going in.
Yeah.
And the second time around, you vaguely know of people. People have had history. There's people from the same TV show, whether it's Made in Chelsea, whether it's Towie. So I just feel like there was a lot of like interconnection, intertwining, whereas the first time you're just excited to see everyone for the first time. So that's probably like the biggest difference between the two.
Why did you go in a second time?
I just thought 5 years down the line, felt like a full circle moment being back in sunny South Africa. The first time around, I remember saying in my initial interview, they were like, why do you want to go on the show? I was like, well, it's going to be sunny over there, having a bit of winter sun, surrounded by beautiful people. And they were like, oh, not because you could find love or not because it could be amazing for your career. And I was like, oh yeah, like I guess that would be an amazing takeaway. So I kind of went into it like high hopes, but low expectations. That's probably the best way to describe it because, I came off the back of that show with a 4-year relationship. So I felt like I was like really qualified going into this experience. But yeah, it didn't land for me, did it? It really didn't land for me.
I think it was a stark contrast to your first experience.
Do you know what though? I feel like I had quite a similar journey, like
Okay.
in the two, because I was in friendship couples for the first 3 weeks. So I felt like I was nicking a living the first time around. And this time just reaffirmed that because I was in there, like I said, for the first 2 weeks. And I tried to make it work. We did make an effort, just didn't quite land for me, unfortunately. The world's smallest violin
I
is
did
playing.
think you shot yourself in the foot a little bit when you told everybody, hi guys, notoriously, I am a slow burner. So anybody on a 5-week series want to couple up with me, I am a slow burner. I'm just letting you know
I
for now.
don't know why. I don't know why I thought that was a flex. I was like, hey, listen, Nas Majeed here, 28 years old, slow burner, you know my thing. All the girls were just like,
If
next.
if you got through to the final vows, you'd have been like, and now I think it's time for our first kiss.
Yeah. But it would have been a huge moment though. I feel like when I say slow burner, let me just set the record straight here. It took me 6 months to make my ex my girlfriend after making such a huge decision, bringing her back from Casa Amor. So when I say a slow burner, I feel like there are loads of things that need to align in my life, whether it's like cultural things or are you going to add to my life? Is it going to be, are we going to have fun together? Do our families align? Stuff like that.
But all jokes aside, I do think it is good because obviously a lot of people in Love Island, like day one, they're all snogging. They're like, a week later, they're closed off and
must be
stuff.
nice.
And I think there are probably people watching who are slow burners as well.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see them have some representation.
Yeah. Listen, I was waving the flag for all the slow burners out there. If anyone wants to slow burn with me, you know where to find me.
Slide in those DMs.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would do differently if you could have gone back? Or are you happy with the way things went and your time there?
No, I'm happy with how things went. I think one thing about me, I would never force anything that isn't there. I'd always stay true to myself. And I think, even based off my first experience and this experience, I don't want to live a life with regrets or, like I said, force something that isn't there, lead someone down a path that I don't feel is like necessary. So I wouldn't change anything.
So is that what it was with Catherine? It was...
I tried. And I just think our love language is miles off it.
What's your love language?
It was more like, if I'm giving you something, I need something back. But I feel like, because I said I was a slow burner, she just left me to my own devices and almost felt like I had to do a lot of the pulling. We had a conversation. I said, it needs to be a bit more of a seesaw. If I pull you for a chat, then you gravitate towards me. And then I feel like, oh, you're interested, so I'll do these stuff for you. So
Yeah.
I felt like it would have moved in a good direction. But I think it was just too little too late by
Not
then.
enough time.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We did love, though, when you took the fruit platter over and you kept going, acts of service, acts of service. And we were like, do you always announce the love languages? Do you like
Yes.
physical touch?
Yes,
Physical
yes.
touch.
I mean, that's one way of like ruining things in the bedroom. Isn't it?
Physical touch.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
You look
It was
great.
like I was announcing it over like a tannoy. I was like, yeah. Now I'm doing physical touch. Now I'm doing acts of service. So
Being
as
in
long
the
as
cinema, quality time. Quality time.
maybe I need to work on that.
We
one.
love
Do you know what?
that.
This
We
feels
love
more like
that.
an intervention than a podcast. So I appreciate that.
We're here to help.
We're your friends, man.
We are.
Did you make any friends in there?
Curtis, honestly, is the loveliest man. I think it's quite an unlikely duo as well because I'm from South London. He's from Stoke, I
Yes.
believe. I just remember locking eyes with him. This is sounding a lot,
Oh,
more,
wow.
a lot more romantic than it
Okay,
should.
fast bird on that
Yeah. I said, oh, Curtis.
Fiery.
Oh, Nas Majeed.
Yeah.
Naughty, naughty.
There's something about the tone of his voice, you know? He just radiates like positivity and I
Sure.
naturally gravitate towards people that are like nice and kind and fun. But I feel like I could actually have a mature conversation with him as well. I think a lot of the boys in there, like as brilliant and as fun as that group of boys are, sometimes they push the banter and they're pushing buttons in there.
Oh.
But yeah, like there is a lot of funny banter flying. But sometimes it's good to just be able to like bake off, cool, chill out and just have a normal conversation. So we were talking about like finance, we're talking about business, we're talking about, just other
Real
things
life
like,
stuff.
life stuff. Because when you're in there, you got nothing else to talk about,
Like
really.
a Stephen Bartlett podcast.
Yeah. I mean, watch out for that one because me and Curtis are going to wheel one up when he's out.
So obviously you spent a lot of time in the villa and you got to see loads of friendships and romantic relationships develop. Who would you say your favourite couple is at the moment?
That is the $1 million question because at the time of leaving, it was definitely Ekin-Su and Curtis.
wow.
I was third wheeling them like you wouldn't believe. I think they're probably glad to see the back of me, to be honest.
Maybe you were the glue that was holding them
Maybe
together.
I was. I feel like chaos has just ensued ever since I've left.
They couldn't argue in front of the kids.
I genuinely felt like their child.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time I spent with them. But they were definitely my favourites. I think, people talk about like a fiery Ekin and, maybe like in previous shows, like different people bring out different sides of you. But I feel like Curtis was really bringing out this fun, silly, goofy, loving side. And I just thought she's just so lovely to be around. And so was he. And like the connection that they had, like to me, it felt really genuine. They were gravitating towards one another. I don't know if that comes across that much through the screen. And I know that a lot of chaos has happened since then and he seems a little bit more confused. But at the time of me leaving, I was like, there's nothing that could break this.
The villa antics have been a roller coaster of emotions so far, but one thing that's for certain, the Islanders' pre-loved eBay fits are going to be fire. On our first date of the series, the roots of love were blossoming for Ekin-Su and Curtis. She was a vision in a rat and boa cord previously worn by Mimi, Jessica and Grace. And seriously, her accessories got us thinking, is there any date without a Prada wicker bag? From the floral detailing to Ekin's red nails, the way they matched the hearts on Curtis's CP company shirt, it was giving certified lover girl. And after a tough week, Luca and Kaz finally met their matches in Bombshell's Grace and Ron during the recoupling. Both ladies embodied the it girl aura, with Kaz wearing an Escada denim jacket and Grace dripping in pre-loved Karen Millen, I Am Gia and a Joannaby blazer. Heads were certainly turning. Can't wait for even more fire pit flirting, fab fits and action from the villa. Shop your next villa-inspired look on eBay. Headline sponsor of Love Island. Last night saw the return of Omar. I mean, it hasn't been very long. He was literally with us last series. He is a former PE teacher from Croydon. Now, he has coupled up with Catherine. Do we think they're a cute couple?
I love Omar. I was fortunate enough to be on a podcast here when he came out. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Speaks incredibly well.
Yeah, he
Like
does.
really polite, and there's a natural charm about him.
Yeah.
Which I think comes across when you saw him on the dates and stuff as well.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
Let me get your seat. Come and take
Oh,
a seat.
thank you. You're such a gentleman.
Have to be a gentleman.
Wow.
I really like him. I don't have a bad word to say about him. I mean, look at, he's got muscles where I didn't know you could have muscles. So like
2 chains as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Double down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not messing about.
I know he's coupled up with Catherine. It does look like it's what Catherine would want. But I looked at him in those dates when he was talking to Grace and he was talking to Catherine. And then later on when he had a chat with Ekin. This guy is smooth, man.
Yeah.
This guy knows what it's almost like he's on autopilot and he knows the right things to say. It just comes out like great. So I'm like, I don't know who he has real feelings for. He's just got in the villa. But I'm certainly a fan.
I think the thing with Omar is last time he was in the villa, he came in at quite like a high octane point of like the series. And there was so much going on. He sort of got caught up in like the Mimi and Io and then the Io and Uma drama. And then he had the row with Joey and stuff. But we didn't really get to see much of him because it was always triangles and squares. So I'm glad that he's come in on his own this time. He's been given time to breathe and he's been given time to sort of show off his personality.
Yeah. I think him and Catherine will make a cute couple.
Yeah.
She seems really like happy that he's in there. They've obviously met each other before on the outside, but like Catherine was saying, they didn't really get time to like properly get to know each other. And to be fair, I think inside the villa is one of the best places to get to know someone. There's no outside distractions. There's no like real life social media. Like it's just you and the other person. And if their heads turn, then, you get to see their true colours quickly. You know? You don't have to wait till the outside.
Yeah, no, I second that as well. I've met Omar a couple of times, played paddle with him, smoked him, obviously. So he needs to work on his paddle skills, but he is smooth. He is brilliant to be around. And I think it's really nice to see that he's picked Catherine as well because, I'm a huge fan of Catherine, Kaz, and Elma. I feel like they haven't had the easiest journeys in there. And I always said to them, you have so much love to give and I can see that you're giving it all to this experience. So for Omar to come in, I think that's what she wants. And I think them two can really grow as a couple and they look amazing together as well. Yeah. So me being in a friendship couple with Catherine is really nice to see her with a massive smile on her face because she has got such beautiful, infectious energy in it. You feel it around the villa when you're in there as well.
She's a great person. Obviously, we do know that Omar did have some previous issue with Grace. Do you think this is going to be a problem? I mean, she made it quite clear that, Luca is for her.
The way she came in and sort of like reassured Luca.
She gave him a big old kiss.
Yeah, it was almost like, right, you're doing too much. Like it was that level of reassurance where I was like, okay, cool, chill. Right?
Yeah, like I wasn't accusing you.
Yeah, but I feel like Luca needs that.
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as he saw Omar, he was like, who's that? Like his heart sort of sunk. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think Grace knows she's got a good thing going on. I think if something were to happen, it would have happened by now.
Absolutely.
Having like seen each other at events and stuff like that, I think those two would have rekindled anything that they would have had in the villa had Joey not have been there at the time. But yeah, I don't think Luca's got anything to worry about. But I mean, when he pulled Ekin for a chat, that was interesting.
That was. And I feel like, obviously, you mentioning, like, Omar seems to have a lot of character about him. He knows how to speak to the ladies.
Yeah.
I'm not putting anything past him because he did say during his recoupling speech, look, I'm picking this person, but it doesn't mean I'm fully closed off. And we all know Ekin is now basically single. Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Left on a cliffhanger.
I don't like to wish the weekend away, but I just want to know.
Yeah.
This decision has been confusing for me. I didn't expect to be in this situation, but I'm going to go with my heart and with my gut. The person I am going to couple up with is...
Curtis had to pick in the recoupling, and obviously he's going to pick between. I mean, there was Tina there as well, but I don't think he's going to pick Tina. So he had to pick between
Stranger things have happened.
Ekin Sue
He
and
does love a
Danielle.
triangle.
He does.
So I could just imagine him. I would have gone for her, but I'm going to go for Tina.
Just that no one gets upset and then stops crying.
I can't believe you've done that, man.
Sorry, I
It's not for Bradford.
Well,
he was talking about Ekin in his speech, and he said, I haven't been 100% honest with her. Yeah. And he said, I've got one person that's telling me they don't want anything to do with me, and I've got one person who's throwing themselves into getting to know me as they should. And he said he's going to go with his heart and his gut.
Which are two different things, by the way.
Yeah.
Firstly, Curtis. I know normally he is quite smooth or he is quite eloquent with his words, but that one there, I was like, I don't really know what you're going with here.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, I think he's going to go with Ekin.
Oh, what makes you think that?
I don't think he's the kind of person to throw away 2 and a bit weeks worth of getting to know someone. I feel like he was really immersed in it at the time.
I think completely different. I think
Really?
that, remember that conversation he had with Danielle, and then he had the conversation with Ekin and said, I'm sorry for saying we were closed off too soon. It's complete backtracking
He's
now.
backtracked a lot.
Yeah, he's just backstepping his way. I don't know what the dance is,
That's
but yeah, he's going
Curtis
all the way
will know.
back. Yeah. He's going all the way back on everything that he said. And I think once somebody throws a drink at you, right, I think that's a full stop on that relationship.
Ooh, you strict.
If you're going to throw a drink at me, I think this is pretty much
was
done.
water.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what it is.
I don't see how we can sit through 3 days of them going at each other. I don't want anything to do with you. I closed off too early. This isn't working. I do want to get to know Danielle. And then be like, what I'm picking is Ekin. I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, what do I know? But I do think he looks happier.
I mean, do
when
you not know
he's
him pretty
talking-
well? Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't a dig.
I'm joking. No, I think he looks happier when he's talking to Danielle. I think he looks more
Yeah.
relaxed.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of a less stressful situation. And I think the villa is stressful anyway, so you want to try and minimise your stress levels.
Yeah.
And like I say, when you've got one girl shouting at you and telling you she doesn't want any, well, actually she did say, I don't want nothing to do with you, so who knows what she means. And then you've got Danielle, who's just like being very respectful and saying, look, I'm here for you when you want to talk, and he doesn't really happy when he talks to her, but who knows.
It would be nice to see where that relationship with Danielle would go as well, because I think we haven't really seen much of Danielle, really. I don't really know what she's like. She seems like a pretty chill girl.
Yeah.
Right. And she like doesn't like drama and stuff. And I think sometimes in a relationship with two people that are too outgoing, which I think Curtis and Ekin-Su are, it doesn't quite work, because even on the outside, if you think about it, he's always away, she's always away. I can't see that work. Whereas I think with Danielle, it will sort of ground him a little. It will provide a little bit of a base for him. Do you know what I mean? It's like a bit of grounding would be good for him. So I'm curious to see where that will go.
I mean, we saw that Curtis did decide to sleep on the daybed.
Yeah.
Do we feel like that was a little bit unnecessary, or was it just respectful?
Do you know what? I think with Curtis, he's trying to please everyone and he's trying to be respectful. And with him, he sticks to his guns. He's respectful. I think he's going about it the best way that he thinks. So, you know what? Hats off to him.
I think he could have slept in that. I just think he doesn't want confrontation. He doesn't like drama. He doesn't want the epic fallout that's going to happen. And also, I don't think he wants anyone to be able to say anything. He wants to keep his nose clean. This is where he's going to come unstuck, I think. Because at the moment, it's like Danielle picked him for the hideaway. Like, yes, he went along with it and stuff. Danielle stole him. He slept in the daybed. Like, he is like, I've done anything.
Yeah,
what I need to
In
do.
the eyes of the law,
But
he's
right
squeaky
now,
clean, yeah.
he's got to choose and make the decision.
Drama.
Roll-
I see why
tomorrow
everyone's
night.
invested, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sammy and Elma.
Selma, yeah.
Selma. They had a kiss on the terrace. Do we think that these guys are the real deal?
I would like to hope so. I
Yeah.
think they're both from Towie.
Yes.
I know there's a bit of an age difference. I think that might have been some people's concern, but
Yeah.
I think, her face is just lit up and that is her type to
Yeah.
a T. So I think they're going to go the distance. I'm going
Yeah.
to call it now.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of sexual chemistry there.
Hand on the neck.
I'm surprised they weren't adult wrestling in the hideaway, man. Those two, they look like they just can't keep their hands off each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is emotional as well, but at the moment it seems like there's a lot of chemistry between them. And in that heat, it probably does bring that out of you. But
Easy, Tiger.
Good thing it's winter. But it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But I think, for now, I can't see anybody else coming in that's going to potentially turn either of their heads.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine if, in the biggest swindle of Love Island history, Sammy and Elma actually planned this on Towie.
Dun, dun, dun.
Did she let on anything there?
That would be telling, wouldn't it? No, I mean, to be fair, she was locked in with Ronnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a point, I don't know if I should say this, but I was like, how are you feeling about Ronnie? She goes, I can marry him. And she is very she just wears her heart on her sleeve.
Yeah.
She's so
She's
fun.
amazing.
And one thing about Elma as well, I want to mention, the behind the scenes stuff, she is so lovely. She's very mothering, very caring. She is just such a pleasure to be around. And there were so many little tidbits as well, or little fun facts about she's an air cadet. She did karate. She got pilot miles.
Well, you know so much about her.
He's writing her Hinge bio. If
If it doesn't work out for her, I'll be
Yeah.
her best wingman for her, because I think she's got
that's
so many
great.
amazing qualities.
Her and Sammy could be the winners. But another potential winning couple, very emotional last night during the recoupling, Harriet and Ronnie.
I feel like the person that I'm becoming is the person that I've always wanted to be, and that's all because of you.
I'm gonna cry.
You've shown me a way how a relationship should be, and I thank you for that, and I want to show you what I can give you now. The girl I want to be with is Harriet.
Ronnie's head has gone. The man is in love.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's got a football career after this. This guy is going to move in, become a house husband, and just take care of Harriet
Gonna make a homepage.
forever and ever.
Yeah.
He is going to be Googling recipes to cook for her that involve more than 11 grapes. This guy is...
Sorry, did you see the platter that he put together?
Yeah.
No one can ever corn my fruit platter.
Yeah,
But he put
what?
together like a random... I didn't know what that assortment was.
Yeah.
but
He got
it
an
landed.
A-star in art.
Best in the
Oh,
bad
yeah.
think he's a real deal with her now. I think he's
1,000,000%.
I've never seen a man act like this.
1,000,000%, yeah.
In Love Island. The 180 the man has done with his character is crazy. This was like a bit of a player, do you know what I mean? He walks around, I'm going to be in David Lloyd's in Bromley, just having a laugh. And now he's come in and he's just like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you forever and ever. Let's have 14 kids and just like buy a Range Rover and just go out every weekend with them. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just a complete switch up.
It was apparent though when we were in the villa as well. Like we did the kissing challenge and he didn't have to give her a 10, but straight off the bat, he was like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
10. He just laid all of his cards flat out on the table and he just, like, ever since, he's just beeline for it ever since.
Yeah.
Like, we said to him, you know, maybe, you know, it's time to play it cool because she wants to get to know other guys. He said, forget all of that. Like, I'm going to go for what I want. And what I love, he stomps around. Like, we call him a stormtrooper because he just stomps everywhere. You can feel him before you see him.
So when you were in there, like, obviously he's coupled up with Elma. Did you see the shift straight away in his character?
Like, instantly.
Wow.
Genuinely instantly. And obviously at the time, it wasn't nice for Elma. But you could also see that this is a man on a mission and he's trying to win Harriet's heart. You know what? You have to respect it.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants. He's going for it. He's putting 150% of his energy into it. If it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, I think he'd be devastated.
You saw a glimpse of that when he was like, what, you getting to know other blokes in here?
Yeah.
It looked like his whole world had come crashing down. Yeah. Like he was like, what do you mean I'm going to watch you chat to other man?
Yeah. I think he was in a position where he was like, cool, like you do what you need to do, but he's not going to sit there like a lemon for like days on end when you know that they're just going to naturally gravitate towards one another.
For sure.
But I think Harriet picked Ron initially just to have an experience aside from Ronnie. But the way they gravitate towards one another is like, it's polarizing.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Well, Ron is certainly keeping up your spirit.
I'll pass the baton. That's the best way to
Pass the
describe it.
baton.
I feel like Yoda. I'm the sensei. I'll pass the baton on to Ron. But I kind of feel for him because with Danielle coming in, like he's still kind of somewhat playing second fiddle. I feel like he is just biding his time, and sometimes that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
But you never know, especially with all this chaos that's going on. Like if Curtis picks Ekin, then maybe Danielle's head turns back to Ron, and then order is restored.
Well, thank you so much, Nas, for joining us today. It's been amazing having you here. And we
Thanks for having me.
Amazing.
that you find love soon.
Fingers crossed.
And Kae, what a week it's been. You've been amazing.
Thank
the
you.
impressions, you've been an alpha male. And we'll hopefully see you next series.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Which has
It's
been your
a pleasure.
favourite episode?
It was you coming home.
It's coming home.
I was like, we get to have Nas on the podcast while I'm here. That was
Legends.
my fave.
And you guys can catch us on YouTube, ITVX, or your favourite podcast provider app.
There's no episode tomorrow, but that is just the way the cookie crumbles here on planet Earth.
Yes, it is. But we'll be back on Monday morning with Joe Bags, so you know it's going to be a good week on planet Earth.
Hey, I'm planet Earth.
See ya.
See ya.